Welcome back to a snowy Borderview Farms. I miss Orlando. So we are back in Michigan, and there's still a bean planter in the shop here, although it is about done. Brock is here this morning. Say good morning, Brock.
Morning.
Thanks for, getting stuff done last week, Wednesday. He didn't come to work on Thursday because his other job was paying him more money. Whatever. Anyway, Phil worked on this planter as well last week, Friday, Saturday, whatever it was. He found one no-till coulter that he thought was pretty rough, so he's got that tore apart on the shop. We were looking for seals and bearings and stuff to be able to clean it up and put some new pieces in there. So we've got a lot of them. We're just looking for one seal that hopefully we have in there. And what else are we doing? Oh, we've got to put the seed tubes and meters back on these 5 units and maybe on the other side too as well. And then I believe this thing can come out of here finally. So the only other thing that I kind of wanted to do that we haven't is work on fixing the hydraulic problems that we have with those wing wheels that settle over time. I thought there was a block on the wings that those hoses went into that was our problem. There's not. It's got to be in this central block underneath the CCS platform. If I get bored and we really feel like it, maybe we'll try and trace something down there, or I'll go back on the internet and see if I can figure out which valve is in there that might have bad O-rings that need replaced. And we'll see if we can't do something about that. It's just an annoyance thing more than anything. It's not really hurting anything. It just, every time you leave the planter set for a couple of days, those wing wheels settle and you got to unfold it and rephase everything, and it's a pain in the butt. So anyway, this planter is hopefully going to be out of the shop by the end of the day. I would go and get our new planter and our tractor, which I hear is done unless I want to change the tire spacing on the front tires. But it's snowing and the roads are crappy and sloppy, and I'm not driving my new tractor and my new planter on salty, crappy winter roads in Michigan. So we'll see what they're like this afternoon, but it'll probably be tomorrow before we go up and get that. So, yeah, I don't know. If we get this planter out of here this morning, maybe we'll bring the sprayer in this afternoon. We can do the service work on that. I don't know. We'll figure some stuff out. Are we finding anything?
No seals yet.
It's not looking good. I'm torturing Brock because he's got to get his hands dirty. He hates it. It's just awful. Putting bearings back in that hub there that holds this no-till coulter. We've got this little bearing grease packer thing. I don't know. It gets grease in the bearings. So this goes back on that hub. We did not find a new seal. That one's got just a little bit of a nick on the one side, but it's a triple lip seal and it's one of the three, and we're gonna put it back on. It'll be fine. And then there's a washer and a castle nut that you set the tension on the bearing with, put the pin in, put everything back together, get it back on the planter. So good work. It's like he knows what he's doing, or can follow directions. It's one of those two.
It's more the latter of the two.
Yeah. Something like that. Does it spin? Is it rough?
Maybe alright.
Okay, there you go. Should I fill it with grease? YouTube will tell me I should fill it with grease. There's no grease here on this. It is greaseless. We packed the bearings up real good, got everything lubed up in there really well. I could attempt to put a bunch of grease out here that will do absolutely nothing. Let's be honest. It'll do nothing but make a mess when we have to take it apart. So, should I do it?
You're the boss.
We're not going to do it, and we're going to let YouTube yell at us. How about that?
Wouldn't be the first time.
Won't be the last time. So gentle. One good hit right in the middle, it would have been set just fine. You got it? Okay. You can either put that on first or you can put the blade on first. I don't really care, but it's got to go on. There you go. All right, so that's almost done. He's going to leave. He's going to leave on me. He's beeping. All right, so we've decided to dig into this valve block a little bit and see if we can't fix our wing wheel settling issue. There are two solenoids, that one and this one, that are for the wing out here. And then there's, I don't know, it could be a reface. It could be several different things. I'm not really sure. We're going to try and pull this out and see what happens. The problem is it might be under pressure, so go very, very slowly. And if we start getting a bunch of oil spewing out, tighten it back up. Oh, maybe we should get a socket.
Depot socket.
What size is it? 7/8, I'm guessing.
Right
7/8. Is it loose?
It's loose.
Okay. Is there oil spewing out?
Not yet.
Not yet. Is our wing wheel settling?
Like on the frame, man.
Well, it ain't going to move down there. If anything's going to happen, this wing is going to drop down onto the row units. Problem is there's going to be...
Yep.
Oh, we got oil. Looks like a fair bit of it, too. So, all right, that's not going to work. We're going to have to get it refolded up and those pick the tongue up so that those wings are not on the ground, and then there will be no pressure on those anymore, I think.
So we have to put the cylinder back together.
Cylinder?
Or the solenoid.
Yeah, maybe. That's okay. That's easy to do. We took the magnet
How much
off.
do I torque this down?
Not that much. Just like that.
We're going to be taking it right back apart.
Okay, that means we need a tractor.
There's one here.
There is one here. It's even got a fold box in it that'll work. See, all these solenoids and this whole valve block is what basically controls all of the hydraulics on the entire planter, and these solenoids are what are controlled by that fold box that sends oil to different hoses and stuff to make it do different things with the same outlet. That block, however, is very complex.
Guess how much it cost.
Yeah,
I covered up the run.
Go ahead and take a guess at how much that block costs. Now go ahead and uncover that number. Let them Google it. Go Google that number. Keep in mind, that's just the gold part. It doesn't include any of the valves and solenoids and any of that stuff.
If we get enough people to donate money, we'll buy a new one.
No,
So you guys...
we're not buying a new one. I will tell you how much it costs at the end of this video. Roughly how much it costs. You're good. So, all right, we're going to have to move the gator. We're going to have to get the tractor and hook up the hydraulics, refold it up so that our hooks there are hooked on the tongue, and then we can take the weight off, basically. Let me get down and I'll explain what's happening. So when we unfolded these wings last week, we partially unfolded it, and so the weight of the wings is on these tires. And that hydraulic line coming out of here, or here, has pressure on that solenoid. If we can fold this back up, get this hook back on here, and lift that up so that those tires are no longer touching the ground, then there's no pressure on that valve, and we can take it out and look at the seals on it. Brock's bringing the tractor around, see if he can get it hooked up, and same hoses we needed before. We need these two, and that one, and a wire harness, 2 wire harnesses. Nothing like putting him on the spot, filming it, and throwing it on the internet for everybody to see. First time he's ever tried to hook up a planter like this, I think. Actually doing pretty good. Up. He just missed. Got it. All right. Drop half of it, he says. Okay, let's get our hoses. All right, I didn't film it because it was hard to do, but we got it where we want. We floated it with the wing wheels activated, so there should be no pressure on them. We got the tractor unhooked, and we're pushing him out, or getting him out of here. Just leave it here. We're going to take that out, but I want to get the door closed. Yeah, you can see I can wiggle that wheel. So there's no pressure on it either way, up or down. So now we should be able to take that valve out. We're going to lose a little bit of oil, but it shouldn't have pressure where it's going to come spewing out or something's going to drop suddenly on us.
Right there it is. The O-ring screwed up.
Okay, well that's not it, but
I don't think so.
it's got to be an internal O-ring that's allowing those to seep. That very well could be a bad O-ring and be leaking, but it's that little one is the one that I'm worried about. It doesn't look bad.
No.
Well,
white things have to split them.
Well, perhaps we should replace it anyway if we have one.
I agree.
Let's see. That one is bad indeed and needs to be replaced. So we'll at least replace that one. That O-ring was too big to be on there, it looks like. Which is a pretty good indicator that we've already been in here once. Hey. Okay. Well, we'll see what we can find, get this one put back together, and then do a couple more. Well, we had both of those out, replaced the O-rings that needed to be replaced, or well, we replaced the two smaller internal O-rings that are the ones that would be causing the problem, and fixed that one that was bad, and put those back together. Now we're working on the other side. There's just a little oil coming out. It's just residual pressure in the line. It's not a big deal. Nothing has obviously been wrong. I don't know that we are doing ourselves any good. Now, there has got to be an internal O-ring inside of these, but I have no way to get to it. And this little valve here, I'm pretty sure is quite expensive, so I should go and look it up on Deere's Parts and see how much they want for it. But a quick Google search of the part numbers showed us that this piece right here is like $600. So, yeah. Well, those two didn't really look bad either, but we changed the seals, so we'll see if it makes any difference. If not, we'll have to figure out what else could be the problem. I don't know. It's not that it doesn't work or you can't use it that way. Like I said, it's just an annoyance and an inconvenience to have to unfold and rephase everything before you can go anywhere or do anything with it. So, anyway, we good there, Brock? Everything back together and tight?
Everything we took the parts back together.
Okay, we gotta get the platform back in. I think we're done. Well, we're hooking the seat tubes up. Everything else is hooked up? Did you latch the cables and everything? This?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Hey, Brock, I just remembered something. I was gone then last half of last week, right?
Yeah.
You were here after I left.
Yeah.
When I got here this morning, there was no Dr. Pepper in my fridge.
I took one and there was still one left.
There was a case and a half sitting on top of the fridge. You couldn't fill the thing up for me?
I did take one, but I did not take the last one.
Uh-huh.
Hey. I don't know.
I don't even need him to buy it for me. Just fill the fridge up so that it's here when I want it. Like, you can have as much as you want. Just fill the fridge up, man. Come on. Employees. Can't find good help. It's just impossible. Okay, this planter we have put new seed tube guards on, half of it. We have put new seed discs openers on the whole planter. We have replaced gauge wheel rubbers that needed to be replaced. We have replaced gauge wheel bearings that needed to be replaced. We have done a couple of closing wheel bearings and checked all of them. We did one no-till Coulter bearing, checked all of them. We thoroughly disassembled, washed, cleaned the row units. They're as clean as they get and are ready to go. We do need to do the plates yet. There is that. Brock has checked air pressure in all the tires except for the one that he missed on Wednesday because he couldn't get to it, which he is doing right now. We attempted to fix some oil leaks on, oil seals, I guess, in for this wing wheel circuits. We'll see if that works or not. Grease, Brock, we need to grease this planter before we can take it out of here. And then it is ready to go plant beans. All we have to do is put the plates in, put seed in, and go plant. hook up the monitors and the tractor and everything. But we'll get to that, right? So, yeah, this one's good to go. All right, Brock's gonna grease. We're gonna start up here on the front. I'm gonna tell him what to do, and he's gonna do it. We got one right there. Okay, you got one right here. I hear it. And for all you know-it-alls, yes, there is one right here, but we don't use it, so we're not greasing that one. So, okay, there are some on these markers. We should probably get those. Sometimes those are very difficult to do unless the markers are actually down. So, we'll go from there. Yeah, actually, some of this is going to be very difficult to do with it folded up. Actually, we should have done this before we folded it. Anyway, these rock shafts have one, and then there's going to be one. It's on the pivot in there, so you'll have to crawl in there and get them. And then there is going to be one on every wheel. You having fun under there?
Yeah.
Okay, he's got all them other ones done. Now there's one on this pivot for the wing there, up underneath. That's probably enough. And there's one on the other side. And then we've got on these mainframe, there's that one there, and there's one down there. I think that's it. There's two on each of those, plus then one on the wheel. All right, so he's got that. Now there's on this pivot, somewhere in there, there's a grease zerk. Oh yeah, right there. Hey, let's see, what else has grease zerks? There's one big area left that I'm trying to leave till last. I believe that's all of the frame, wheel module stuff, so it's just the markers and then gauge wheels. Every gauge wheel on them has a grease zerk. Coincidentally, the new Kinsey planters don't have those. How nice is that? Anyway, I don't have to grease them. Somebody does. All right, so Brock's hitting gauge wheels. There's only 64 of them on here. And it's lunchtime, so we're going to go grab some lunch. We'll come back and get this out of here and see what we're going to work on this afternoon. I'm thinking about bringing the sprayer in. Our new corn planter's not coming home today. The roads are too crappy, so we can get the sprayer through real quick. It's almost time to top dress wheat, spray the nitrogen on the wheat, but we're not quite there yet. We need some warm weather and for it to dry up a little bit. Did you finish greasing? Good job. We went to lunch. And now we're going to get a planter out of our shop. So, Brock, get the tractor. I'll get him hooked up. We'll get the wings folded up, picked up, everything, and we'll take it out and put it back in the new barn. And we'll have our shop back, or we can do something else. This has been in here for like 3 weeks. It's too long. We got to get it out. All right, we got him. Fold the wings up. Fold the wings up. We gotta fold the wings up. Huh? What do you mean, which one is it? There's only one hose hooked up. It's the same as everything else. Oh. There we go. Pick your 3-point up. Try and lift our wing tires up yet too, but those are going up. We'll get the stops put back in it so they don't settle down and hit something else in the barn when we park it. Yeah, that's the problem. He's trying to pull them wing wheels up, but they just don't go unless you rephase the whole thing. You gotta like lower the whole thing. Yeah, it's a real problem. That's why I'm trying to fix those, but it's okay. All right, there it goes. We'll get the door closed once he gets out, and we'll go help him get it back into the barn. He's getting it. See if he can get it in there without hitting our grain cart or my tractors. Boy, that tire on the tractor looks awfully low. A little bulgy. We should check that one. He's gonna make it. Watch the back. He's gonna get too close. Alright, it's unhooked. We're just gonna put the tractor over there for now. Our floor's dirty again. We need an approach. We need to pour some concrete so all the dirt falls off the tires outside and not inside. Okay, well, we got our floor cleaned up somewhat. I reorganized a little bit. I think we're gonna bring a sprayer in. It's 2 o'clock. We should have time to do the oil change and stuff today. That's not really the problem. I want to get the corn planter in the shop as soon as we get the corn planter. It may be tomorrow, it may be Wednesday. I don't know. We'll see. But I did confirm that our tractor is basically done, so it is going to be this week. So we need to get the sprayer out. We're not quite ready to use it yet. It's way too wet, but wheat fertilizer is coming soon, and we need to do the oil and filter changes and the basic maintenance stuff on it before that. Dad takes care of the liquid system and, you know, making sure that the boom and nozzles and all that stuff is ready to go, but I usually do the engine components and engine oil and air filters and all of that kind of stuff. We like to wait until right before we're going to use it to do this one. That's why it's kind of the last one to go through the shop. But we'll get it out and work on that. Dad washed it before he put it away, so I don't know how clean it is, but it is sort of clean, let's say. So it's been sitting here for quite a while. Let's see if she'll start up, and we can take it outside, let her run for 5-10 minutes, and we'll bring her in, dump the oil. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. All kinds of juice in those batteries. You ready for it? It's the first one of the year. Power ladder. Don't hit the boom on the door. We are sitting right at 2,200 engine hours on this sprayer, which is considered very low hours for a 4930 sprayer that's 2010 model. The sprayer's 13 years old, so we use a sprayer a lot. We can justify owning this, but you can go so fast and cover so much ground in a hurry that we don't put a ton of hours on it, which is why it's fairly low hour. Also makes it fairly hard to justify buying a new sprayer, because this one is nowhere near worn out or incapable of what we're doing, and we don't put that many hours on it. But it's going to be a technology upgrade more than a necessity, the speed or upgrade to get more done. Lifetime application summary. We have spray hours 618 with it actively spraying something out of the nozzles. Covered almost 92,000 acres with this sprayer. What's that? 1,453,000 gallons has been run through it. That's a lot. Acres per hour average is 147. Yeah. Anyway, we'll let her run here for a few minutes, and then we'll pull her in the shop. Okay, we've got a sprayer in the shop. Brock's back here sweeping. Look how good of a job that thing does. Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. All right, we need to get some oil draining, and then we'll get all our filters and everything down and around. So this this sprayer is the same engine and everything as the 8430. There is a drain there with a quarter turn valve. I've got a thing that we can screw into there to get it to drop down into a bucket and not splash all over. Here's the pile of filters for the sprayer. We've got engine oil, fuel, engine air, cab air, air dryer, hydraulic oil, and then there's 2 hydrostatic drive charge something. I don't know. They're underneath here. So Brock tells me we need to change hydraulic oil. I think that might be right. So we're going to look into that a little bit, but we're starting with engine oil. Dad didn't do a great job cleaning the sprayer, but it is cleaner than... We might have to power wash a little bit, is what I'm saying, especially underneath here. Yeah. yeah, we might have to do that. Well, our oil's been dripping for a while. It's about done. Brock's changing filters. You got the fuel, engine oil filter done?
Yeah.
Got the cab air filters done? He's working on that right now. Engine air filters?
Yeah.
Okay. We gotta do fuel yet?
What's that?
Do we have to do fuel? So we got these 2 fuel filters over here. Those need to be done yet. Yeah. And hydraulic. Looks like we could use a little coolant. The one radiator on this, I'm sure it's not the actual radiator, but this one here, it's in a little rough shape. It's been kind of falling apart for a while. Nothing leaking on it, so I don't know if we're going to do anything about it. Maybe put some more silicone in there and try and keep it from falling apart, but it'll be okay. Oh, what else do we need to do other than a little cleaning? I don't know. We got the one cab filter to change yet, the fresh air cab filter. It's, where is it? Oh, it's up there. Up in that cover, clear up there. Now, for a cab filter, fresh air filter, this one's not super dirty. Sprayers aren't running in a ton of dust, but there is some dust on it. However, on most of our equipment, we just run normal filters. On the sprayer, we run some specialized filters. They're the most expensive ones we buy. But because we're running in chemicals and we're spraying stuff, specifically the insecticides that we worry about that can be a little bit dangerous, we actually run carbon charcoal filters. So if you look down in there, which you guys can't see very good because there's my light on. Now it's on. Now you can see. It is a carbon charcoal block filter inside here. The recirculating one in the cab is also a carbon charcoal filter, and so those are replaced annually, and it's also why we kind of like to wait to do this until right before we are going to the going to the field with it, or just to keep those as fresh as possible for when we're actually using them. So that is a very expensive filter, several $100s, couple $100, but for that added safety and protection of now the rear-mounted boom sprayers, that's an advantage. You're not driving through the chemical like you would with a Haggy or a front-mounted boom, so you don't have near as much risk or potential exposure. But still, you want to be careful with that kind of stuff. So one other thing that we normally do when we're servicing the sprayer that's in the shop in the spring like this is swap the tires. Right? We got the skinnies on, the pizza-cutted tires that we use for in-crop work, spraying beans and wheat once you're driving through the crops, so you're not tracking down as much of it. But we usually really like to put the floater tires on for everything else, especially in the early spring when it's generally wet. That early nitrogen on the wheat and spraying the corn and beans pre-emerge before the beans are actually out of the ground. I thought that was the plan. Dad has kind of said, I don't know if I want to change the tires this year. Which is strange, because Dad doesn't usually do the changing of the tires. I do, or Brock and I do, but whatever. So it's not a matter of doing the work. He had something in his mind with the way our wheat ground down to Berkey is and sprayer trips and stuff. He thought maybe we better not change the tires. I don't know if that's the best decision because we're going to cut ruts. But we're going to cut ruts there anyway. I don't know. But I don't think we are going to change the tires out this year. And that makes me nervous. But we'll go with it. That's what he wants. That's what we'll do. We probably should have a set of 420s or even 480s that we ran that would be kind of a compromise in between. These are 380 ADR50s. So they go down the rows or between the, you're not running over as much, but we generally we're talking about 30-inch rows anyway, except for in wheat. In beans with 15-inch rows, you're going to run over a row. There's no way around it. So whether you do that with a 380 wide tire or a 420 wide tire or a 480, I don't know if it matters. So I think a 380 would be like a 14.6 or 14 whatever wide, and then a 420 would be a 16.9, and then a 480 would be like an 18.4. So anyway, they're skinny. They're not great when it's wet, but we are going to be going down the same tracks multiple times. You're going to end up with that footprint and compaction anyway. So keeping it skinny, I don't know. I don't know. If we ended up down to Berkey when we need to do later passes on the wheat or post-emerge beans with the wide tires on, we would be in trouble. And I think that's what Dad's afraid of, so I understand. I spent 10 minutes showing how to make a prescription map in this video, thinking I was screen recording on the computer. Turns out it's not there. We'll try again some other time. It was a good video of me teaching Brock how to make the strips. Maybe tomorrow. Sorry. So that's how we make prescription maps. Brock went through and did one all by himself after I showed him another one. And yeah, sprayer's just about ready to go. We do need to change the hydraulic oil in it yet. We don't have any, so we're going to be making a trip to the dealer tomorrow to get our new corn planter, right, Brock?
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
I think. As long as the roads are decent, we're going to go tomorrow. So we'll drain the oil reservoir. You don't so much change and drain the hydraulic system on a sprayer when you change the oil as much as you just drain the reservoir and then fill it back up and dilute it out, because there's hydraulic hoses and lines everywhere. You'll never get it all out of them. So anyway, we'll get the stuff that we need to do that. I got a couple other things on the parts list to get, and we'll go from there. So he's going home. I'm going home. You guys will see tomorrow after you hit the like button on this video, the subscribe button to the channel, which I appreciate, by the way, and check back tomorrow. New planner, you guys will know before I do, right? Because, I mean, that's not really true, but you'll see the thumbnail before you see it in the video, whether or not there's a new planter on the farm tomorrow. So I'm pretty excited for it. Let's get it home. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you.